So today we'll be reading a story from How to Disappear by Gillian McAllister, among the best psychological suspense thrillers. Are you ready? Page 59. Zara, Islington, London. Zara has hardly slept for the last week, and last night was the worst of all. It felt like she could hear every sound in London, the creaks of the house, the distant sirens, and the shouts as people left the pubs on the high street. They all became menacing. The house creaking was a stranger's feet on the stairs. The sirens were the police, desperately trying to catch up to the men who want to harm her. The shouts were the group. Twice she got up to check the police presence. True to their word, the men have installed a man in an unmarked car out the front. He sits there until 7 in the morning, and then somebody else takes over. Zara hasn't been to school. She dreamt last night, when she did asleep, that she had carried out her lie in court, that Luke and Mel were convicted. They'd all be better off. She dreamt, too, of what she could do to retaliate, what she might do. And now Zara, her mother, and Aiden were walking back from the cinema. It's late afternoon. Her mother said that they couldn't sit inside all day, that they had to get on with life. It had been almost a week of confinement. And nothing happened when they left the house. Nothing happened when they turned on to the high street. Zara didn't, as she imagined she might, feel a cold hand on the back of her neck in the cinema. It has been a perfectly normal afternoon. And now, Zara is looking forward to escaping back into the To All the Boys I Loved Before on the sofa with a cup of tea. A tame evening, but tame evenings are the best. Escapism is the answer. The lanes that spread off the high streets are made ember by the bright shop fronts preparing for Christmas. Zara's breathing is steady. Her pace is slow. She is thinking about the film they saw, a silly action thing. The sort of film her school friends like. It was all about bravery and strength. She is thinking as she walks next to her mother and stepfather that they will be okay, that they can face anything as long as they're together. The policeman nods discreetly to them as they walk up the road towards their house. The autumn leaves line each side of the street like they've been washed there by tide they can't see. Her mother is laughing at something Aiden said, but Zara isn't listening. She puts her key in the lock. The house is in darkness, and she doesn't hear Bill come to greet them. He must be sleeping. They step inside. The hallway is black. Zara flicks the light switch on and Aiden blinks. Going to the cinema in the late afternoon always makes me feel weird, especially when it gets dark so soon, he says, taking his trainers off. I like the early dark nights, Zara says to him, cozy. I'm going straight to the bath, her mother says. She adores the bath. Zara pushes the door into the dark living room and stops dead. A man is standing on their patio looking in, his face pressed to the glass. Zara's mother reaches for the light switch. Stop! Zara shouts to her. Look! He's looking in, but that isn't what chills Zara. In his face he's grinning, a triumphant, cruel grin. He meets her gaze and with one white finger points downwards to Bill, who's sitting by the patio door, panting excitedly, tail wagging, smiling up at the intruder, who he thinks is a friend, but is an enemy. The man then brings his other hand out from behind his back. He is holding a long silver knife. He brings it up to his throat, making a slitting motion while staring at her. Lorraine, Islington, London. Bill! Lorraine cries. Zara reaches for the dog, but Lorraine stops her, getting him herself. The man is running down their garden, a black figure barely visible in the darkness. Bill strains against Lorraine's grip on his collar, trying to get to the door, trying to see where he goes. Get the fuck out, Lorraine hisses. She grabs Zara as quickly as she can, not caring if she's too rough, if she's too frightening. She puts Bill's lead on him. Lorraine stares at the brick wall at the bottom of their garden. The man is nowhere to be seen. He could easily have leapt that wall, and now he'll be gone forever. Untraceable. Vanished. I'll kill him, Aiden says loudly, striding to the back door. Don't be ridiculous, Lorraine says. He's got a knife. Come on. So I'll get a knife too. Aiden turns towards the kitchen. God, he seriously means that. He starts going through their kitchen drawers, opening the cutlery drawers, the one containing their best plates, the one with their utensils in. He's procrastinating. He knows exactly where the knives are. Lorraine is relieved to note that in the chaos, that this behavior is for show. Aiden! He turns to look at her for a moment, just a second. She doesn't recognize him. He's puffed up, angry. Come with me outside to the police, she says. Fine. He slams one of the drawers closed. Man, he says, rubbing a hand across his beard. His expression changes, dropping back to normal. He comes towards her, shoulders slumped. She grabs his arm and leads him back out into the hallway to Zara. As they reach the front door, where they stood happily just moments ago, they exchange a glance. Lorraine isn't sure what it holds, only that it is loaded. She will remember that glance, she's thinking, as their eyes meet and part. They emerge onto the street, which looks exactly the same as it did 2 minutes ago. Cold, quiet, unassuming. Lorraine stares at it. Everything is different. They walk as quickly as they can to the police car, Aiden slightly ahead. There's a man in the fucking back garden with a knife, he says as soon as he reaches the car. The police officer startles, winding down his window. You're supposed to be watching the house, Aiden shouts. The officer is out of the car like a shot, running towards their house. He starts speaking into his radio. Aiden tries to run after him, and Lorraine pulls him back by his arm again. Leave them to it, she says. Bill is sitting, oblivious, and Zara is rhythmically stroking his back, staring into the distance, shivering slightly. Her eyes are wet. Lorraine wants to cover her eyes and ears, out here in the freezing cold, hiding from enemies they barely know they have. She stands next to the unmarked car and pulls Zara to her. She begins to cry into her coat. Aiden stands rhythmically, kicking the curb with the toe of his trainer. The sound thuds like a heartbeat in the night. Lorraine cries too, on the top of Zara's head, trying as hard as she can to stifle her tears. This is it, she's thinking. They're never going to get away. They're never going to go back to normal. This is it. Nazir is back. He's in plain clothes, off duty maybe. Lorraine wonders what he's doing, and she rests her hand on Zara's still trembling leg. Was he out with his wife? Cooking? They didn't catch the man. Of course they didn't, Lorraine thinks bitterly. He ran off down their back garden and over the wall. There have been 2 incidences inside a week, Aiden says, and Lorraine's glad he has spoken up for them. Nazir is clearly waiting to talk. He's holding a white envelope. He keeps touching the long edge of it to their coffee table, but Aiden keeps going. I mean, it's time to talk about arrests, isn't it? Surely. Zara got a good look at his face, he says, looking sideways at Zara, who nods. I did, she says, and he did a motion across his throat, a clear threat. And they know where we live. They know my name and where we live. She leans forward, folding in on herself. Her teeth are gritted, and Lorraine can see she's trying not to cry. I know. Look, we are searching for him. Nazir rubs at his goatee. Lorraine raises her eyes to the ceiling and breathes deeply. She can't bear this. She cannot bear any of it. But first